Welcome to Cooking with Kefi. I'm your host, George Kyrtatas, and you might recognize the guy I have standing next to me. He's been on my show before. He's been on the Food Network. He's one of America's best chefs. He's cooked at the James Beard House. He's been all over the place. This is my good friend, Geoff Johnson. Geoff,
George,
welcome back, man.
thank
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here.
This is my pleasure because we have this great relationship. We've been friends for so many years, but I love cooking with you because we have so much fun doing it.
And likewise, I always look forward to coming.
And we always end up having a couple cocktails as we drink.
Yeah.
So I've planned out a couple appetizers for us.
Okay.
Because I'm in the mood to do it Greek style and just do some mezzadatkia, which are small plates.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no better small plates than doing dips and spreads. Very simply, we've got 2 dips, we've got assortment of dippers. We're gonna have some fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
First
It's
one,
gonna be a great time.
you might recognize this, brother.
That looks like a fondue pot.
We're gonna be making some fondue.
Okay.
But we're gonna toss it up a little bit. We're gonna do a little Greek style.
Okay.
Right here we have some gassetti.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had gassetti before?
I have only at your restaurant. I've had it, but that's besides it.
Gassetti is a goat's milk cheese that is semi-soft. It is great, especially for melting things, thus the fondue, because it just adds a lot of flavor, the richness, but it comes really creamy. Right here, we have another Greek cheese, Kefalogaviera. Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of it. It's a mouthful for me. I'm not going to try it.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Well, there's no peer pressure here tonight because we're chilling.
All right.
All right.
But it resembles a lot like Pecorino Romano or Locatelli, like a harder cheese.
Similar. This comes from an ewe, which is a type of sheep, and it's a hard cheese. And the reason why it has that similarity to the Parmesan, which in this recipe, if you cannot find the Kefalogaviera, Parmesan is totally fine, is because you can grate it really, really fine, which is what we did here.
Right.
And because it's a hard cheese, you want to grate it fine because you want it to melt and incorporate into the fondue.
Gotcha.
Right here, it's this bright yellow cheese.
Is that smoked Gouda?
It is smoked Gouda. It's a cow's milk cheese. It comes from France. It is this creamy, rich type of cheese, and it's got a smoky flavor, a nice smoky
Yeah,
hint,
it's nice and delicious.
which is going to pair really nice with some dark beer,
Okay.
a little metaxa,
Never had that.
Greek brandy
Okay.
/ cognac.
All right.
We can't officially call it a cognac because it doesn't come from the cognac region of France.
Gotcha.
But it is more of a style of what a cognac would be. But they consider it a brandy. We've got a little cornstarch. That's just going to be a little thickener inside.
Okay.
We've got a little nutmeg. Just going to put a pinch.
And that's going to be a nice balance with the other cheeses and a nice accent to the smoked Gouda as
Nice.
well.
And then dry mustard.
Dry mustard.
You had it over there. It's coming over here with me.
Okay.
Because that, son,
Now you're stealing my mustard.
you know
It's
what,
all
we
right.
share.
What's
Today
mine,
we're sharing.
what's mine is yours.
All right.
And what's yours is mine.
And then over here, we've got some dippers.
Yeah.
We've got some beautiful fresh broccoli that we've got in the florets.
Yeah.
Now, broccoli is one of those things that you can take and eat raw.
Oh, actually, I enjoy broccoli better raw than
Yeah.
blanched.
Most people don't eat this vegetable raw, but it's totally great. Eating raw, it's fantastic. We've got cauliflower florets. Again, same principle.
Yep.
We've got a couple different varietals of apples, because apples and cheese go so good together. You know, the sweetness from the apples with the creaminess and the dairy from the cheese, awesome pair.
Yep.
We've got some pita chips. All you did with those
Great.
is you cut them up, put them on the flat top a little bit on the charbroiler,
That was
you
it.
grill them up, done, and you've got some artisan bread. The next dish that you're gonna make, because I know you love the blender, we're gonna make a hummus.
I love hummus.
Traditional hummus with a little tahini, but then I'm gonna spice it up a little bit.
That's fine.
I'm gonna take whole chickpeas, some red chili flakes, caraway seeds, cumin, a little salt, pepper, splash of lemon juice, saute them up, and then we're gonna pour that right on top.
On top of
the hummus that you're gonna make.
All right.
So it's chickpea on top of chickpea.
That's great.
But when you dip it in with one of your dippers, whether it's the pita or the rustic bread or something like that, you're gonna get the texture from the whole chickpea with the creaminess of the hummus, and it's just gonna balance real well.
And hot and cold as well.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
So am I. Why don't we go to commercial, and then we'll come back and start cooking?
All right, sounds good to me.
This is Cooking with Kefi. I'm your host, George Kyrtatas. This is my good friend, Chef Geoff Johnson. And when we come back, we're gonna kick up some hummus, some fondue. You don't wanna miss this. I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to Cooking with Kefi. I'm your host, George Kyrtatas, and I'm here with my good buddy, Geoff Johnson. Chef, we're cooking up some awesome foods today, dips and chips.
And I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
I really am.
First thing we're gonna start off with is an awesome fondue, Greek style. Nice cheesy goodness with some Greek cheeses, some metaxa. Right now, let's start cooking, bro.
All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna start with some beer, nice dark beer. I'm gonna pour the whole bottle in here.
Okay.
All right, take that,
Never
throw it
hurts
aside.
anybody, you know?
Well, I wanna have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna put the flame on high. I want this to come to a nice simmer, but while it's simmering, I wanna put the cheeses in. So can you go ahead and give me some of this?
Sure.
Right here.
Nice
This is
cheese
the
in there.
gassetti, like we said earlier. This is our goat's milk cheese. It was a semi-soft cheese, which is why we left it in these nice big flakes.
Melts easier.
Just gonna
And
put that
smoother.
right in. Swap. Ooh, the smoked Gouda.
Smoked Gouda.
This
One of my
yellow
favorite cheeses.
color. Oh, it's a great
One of my
cheese.
favorite cheeses.
This yellow color is gonna stain the whole fondue. This pale yellow. It's gonna be incredible. Put that in.
I can't wait to have this fondue.
And then we're gonna put the Kefalo Gaviera. This is that cheese that we were talking about that comes from that type of sheep. And it's a hard cheese. So we grind it down and grated it very fine, almost to a powder, like you would have your Parmesan cheese. And we're gonna put that in. But I'm actually gonna go half on this, Chef.
Okay.
Because if it gets too thick, we're gonna have to add more booze. And
Like that's a bad thing?
sometimes a little bit is because you don't want it to overpower it in this dish.
Yeah. No, because it is a very strong cheese and it's
Yeah.
and a lot of flavor.
Why don't you do me a favor? Let's take that ground mustard,
Okay.
and I'm gonna slowly stir this. Oh, check this out! It's starting to melt already.
Oh, that's great. Here's your mustard.
A little mustard. Now, how do you feel about dry mustard?
I love dry mustard.
I do too, and I think it adds a nice flavor. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put all of that in.
Okay, that
I say
works.
that was about a teaspoon.
Yeah, just about.
All right, and give me that little pinch of nutmeg. Now the nutmeg with this dish, I don't want to overpower.
No.
This is here to complement the cheeses. The nutmeg is going to help bring the dairy flavor, that nice milky texture on your tongue that you get. It's going to help bring out those flavors. So it's going to help accent the cheeses.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Now, I'm sure you're going to say, because this is probably the first time ever, I'm not putting salt or pepper in any
I
food.
know. I'm surprised that you're not. But
I don't need it. The
However,
cheese has so much salt, and I don't want it to be spicy.
sure, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised because of the cheeses that you're using. So it doesn't shock me that you're not using salt and pepper because you know how I feel about salt and pepper and seasoning and making sure everything tastes good.
Now, do me a favor. Grab me over that cornstarch. I'm just gonna put a drop in. Now, a lot of times I'll make a slurry, or I'll even dust my cheese with this first.
Right.
But I didn't do that with this recipe. I'm just gonna put just a little bit in. Oh, thank you.
Just to thicken it up.
Just a
tighten
little
it
bit,
up.
just to tighten it up. But as the cheese melts, is when it's gonna get incorporated. So it's not gonna be
Right.
anything too heavy. And as you can see, I'm just gonna put maybe a quarter of a teaspoon in.
Yeah, it's not much.
That's not a lot, but it is when it comes to cornstarch.
Yeah, cornstarch is a natural thickener
You know,
that we use in a lot of soups and sauces and things like that. So it will thicken the sauce a little bit.
Now, this is coming out really, really good.
It looks awesome.
It's starting to melt. As it comes up to temperature, it's gonna melt even more, and we might have to lower the fire a little bit.
I was gonna say, are we gonna keep it on high or just to a medium high?
I'm gonna keep it on high right now until it comes to slightly simmer. And then I'll lower and stir for a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
But grab me that bottle of Metaxa and take a smell of it before you hand it to me. See how rich that is? Metaxa is one of those ever so known Greek drinks. Whenever you talk about any kind of alcohol from Greece, it's ouzo or Metaxa. So we're gonna use the Metaxa, which is that brandy cognac, and it's gonna add a nice, another dimension, nice depth to this dish. Give me another.
I'm kidding.
Oh, I what happened? I thought I had a plenty full bottle here.
No, that's gonna be a nice balance with the cheese because it smells fantastic.
I just put
And
2 little drops in it. Now save it, don't cork it, because when we're done, we're gonna flambe just a touch at the end.
Now, you were saying earlier when we were on break that it's technically not a brandy because it's not.
No, it's not a cognac. Because it doesn't come from the cognac region of France. I'm lowering my fire because it's coming to a nice creamy consistency. And in a second, we're gonna take it over to our fondue and we're gonna finish it in that.
All right, sounds
so
good to
can
me.
you do me a favor, bud? Can you remove the utensils and I'm gonna bring us over? We're almost done our fondue.
Yep.
Take a look at how creamy this is.
That looks great.
Now, before we do anything else, I've got a little cream cheese that I've already whipped up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just gonna soften it. You know what? Throw about 2 tablespoons in while I stir it, just because I don't want it to break.
Sure.
Oh, look at that. That's gonna add that nice creaminess. That's okay. That's why I love working with stainless steel stuff.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm just gonna pour this inside.
That's fondue.
This is all yours, brother.
I'll trade you.
I'm gonna trade you for this. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna take a little bit more Metaxa. I'm gonna pour it right on top.
Sorry.
Woo. I'm gonna light that on fire just to burn out the alcohol, and it's gonna give it a nice little taste.
A nice brulee.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna light that flame up, and we're good to go. Where are utensils? Put this back in, and man, our fondue is done.
I'm waiting.
We're ready to eat, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have to wait a couple more minutes because we've got to make the hummus first.
Yes.
So that way we can have a nice glass of wine and relax. My name's George Kyrtatas. This is Geoff Johnson, cooking with Kefi, Greek fondue. Coming right back. Hummus with the spicy chickpeas. I'll see you in a minute.
I love your take on the Greek fondue.
Isn't that great?
It's
The
awesome.
smells.
Yeah. No, you can
Oh.
smell it over
The
here.
whole kitchen smells
Yeah.
great. Welcome back to Cooking with Kefi. I'm your host, George Kyrtatas. I'm here with my buddy, Chef Geoff Johnson. And man, it's time for the hummus.
I've been waiting all day for this. And it's not a lot of ingredients, but it's
Simple and
very simple,
yum.
very easy to.
I'm just
very
gonna use the word
approachable.
yum.
Yum. That's what it is.
Now, you're somewhat of a hummus professional. You make it all the time.
I
Are
do.
you sure you're not Greek?
I'm positive I'm not Greek.
All right, make the hummus. Tell us what we're doing.
Well, I'm gonna take the chickpeas. I'm gonna puree the chickpeas with some cumin, some coriander, and some caraway seeds.
Not too much though, just a little
Just a
touch
little-
of each.
Just a little bit.
Because you want to be able to taste the chickpeas.
Yes.
And is this tahini?
That's tahini.
Now, for those
That's
of
my
you,
little secret ingredient that I put in there.
that's phenomenal. For those of you that don't know what tahini is, it is ground up sesame seeds. By adding it to the hummus, it's going to add this nice nutty background flavor that's going to balance this hummus out perfectly. Whenever you make hummus at home, add a little bit of this tahini in, and you'll see how much it changes your dish. It's going to add so much flavor, and it's so healthy. High in protein, you're going to love it. You're done that quick?
Yeah, it's only 5 ingredients, 6 ingredients. I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. I like to add a little acid.
You need the acid. It helps balance everything out.
Just to bring all the flavors out and bring everything together. And actually, did you know that hummus was actually originally made with fava beans?
Was it?
Mm-hmm. In Egypt.
I didn't even know Greece had fava beans.
Mm-hmm.
Egypt. What's he talking about? Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is that,
Yeah, just make your hummus.
Just gonna pulse it, and then if you'd be so kind to grab the olive oil.
The olive oil? Yes,
I'm
boss.
gonna drizzle some olive oil in, and then we're gonna have our hummus. We don't want it too thick,
Pulse it.
but we don't
Stop
want
it.
Yeah, we don't want it too thin.
Nice. That's looking good.
You want it pasty.
Now, Jeff, while you're doing that,
Okay.
I'm gonna make our nice little hot, spicy chickpeas to put on top.
Nice.
I'm gonna start by just kind of slicing up, I should say. I'm not really gonna dice it. I'm gonna slice up one of these jalapeno peppers. I want to see nice pieces, so I want that kick. When I get one, I wanna feel the heat. So I'm just going to go nice and tight with it. Small little strips.
And kids, always remember, when you're dealing with jalapenos, wash your hands when you're done.
Yep.
Don't rub your eyes.
It will burn.
Burn.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop that in with the garlic, and I'm gonna come next to you and I'm gonna wash up 1 second.
Yeah.
Because I don't wanna burn myself. That's good. All right, Jeff, we're ready to go to the stove.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take this with me. I'm gonna take this with me. This.
So you're adding the pepper.
This. I'm adding the pepper flakes. You were wondering why it was over there?
It's gonna be a little on the spicy side, but I'm okay with that.
I've also
I
got
like
a little
spice in
parsley.
my life.
Here we go. You ready? Can you hand me over some rest? Don't
Sure.
forget that olive oil for me.
Yep.
All right.
It looks like it's a quick dish.
Now I want my pan to get hot before I even put the olive oil in because it's going to go very, very quick.
So you're just gonna sweat the onions.
Sweat the onions down just for a minute. I'm going to
Bring
put
out
the
those
garlic
sugars,
in,
bring out the sugars and.
kind of caramelize it up a little bit.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna dice up some of these apples for our fondue because I'm still sitting here smelling it. If that's okay.
That's more than fine. My olive oil is nice and hot. I'm going to put in some of these onions. I'm starting to hear that little chirp, that little sizzle.
I hear it sizzling.
Now, because I just added in the onions, I'm going to put a little salt. Give it a little shake. Make sure that it's not sticking. I'm going to put in my garlic and my jalapenos. Put that over there for you, brother. A little bit of our red pepper flakes. Some black pepper. Toss that. I'm just gonna let this cook for 1 minute and then we'll be almost done.
You weren't kidding when you said it's a really quick dish.
Yeah, I did, man. It was right there.
And I'm so preoccupied with getting to this fondue, I gotta take our hummus and put it into a bowl.
Oh, this is looking good. Actually, throw it right on that red plate that you have there.
Okay, I can do that.
Because I want when we put this chickpea mixture right on top, I want to be able to get a little bit of everything. I want to be able to dip underneath and pick it all up.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Right here, my chickpeas are ready to go in. Just gonna cook these up for a second. I'm gonna throw a little bit of parsley on top. Geoff, do me a favor, this parsley, save it out for me, all right? Because I'm gonna use it on top when we're done.
What I do with the restaurant is I make a roasted red pepper hummus.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
I take the peppers and I roast them till they're deep, dark color, nice and caramelized, and then serve it with the pita chips.
How we doing?
All right, I'm waiting on you.
You're waiting on me?
I'm waiting on you, brother.
Can you give me a spoon for me?
Slide it or?
Whatever. Because I'm actually gonna make a nice little bump.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna put the chickpeas right in the middle. So
Nice.
you hold this here.
It's like the mashed potato, well, what you do with the gravy.
Take this over. We're gonna put it right on top. We're just gonna pour this right on top.
Nice.
And like I said, I want to be able to get it all. I'm
Sure.
gonna leave this right here. If you don't mind, you can do a little bit more parsley. And this is it. Geoff, we've got these amazing dishes. Right here, we've got our hummus with our spicy chickpea. We've got our Greek fondue. I don't know which one I want to try first. I think I'm gonna go for a little heat. You're thinking maybe
I'll
the
go
cheesy
the
fondue?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm looking forward to it. This was Cooking with Kefi. I'm your host, George Kyrtatas.
Well, what about the wine? I thought that's what we were doing.
You pour me a Syrah?
I
Sound
have
good?
Riesling. Yeah.
Go for it.
Sure.
If you like these recipes, check them out. Facebook, Twitter, Cooking with Kefi. Come out, see us next episode for some new dishes. We'll see you then. I'm thirsty. Cheers. Thank you. And let's eat.
Yeah, definitely.